Welcome back to the Terrace. Hit the like button, subscribe. I want to say welcome back to you, 328,000 awakening wonders. I really do appreciate all your support. All of you that have turned on that bell notification button in weeks gone by as well. Thank you all very much indeed. Lots of stories to talk about on the show tonight. We are looking at Olise and Wahi on their way to Chelsea, according to some big reports. We're looking at an Arsenal Mbappe swap deal. That's a report. I'm only going to give you the report. I'm not saying it's happening. We're going to delve into that. The story doesn't want to go away with these English clubs linked to him. But the top story that we are starting on tonight, the story that we are starting on tonight, Fabrizio Romano claims that he understands Man United are now set to submit their first official bid. We know there's been unofficial bids and kind of precursor bids and messages and inquiries sent before, but first official bid for Rasmus Hojlund the early part of next week. PSG are keeping an eye on him. Man United don't want to be hijacked. They don't want to lose out on this deal. They don't want to lose the player. Personal terms 100% agreed upon, over the line, done and dusted. So for me, as a Man United fan, very excited, very happy to hear this news. This is a massive, massive deal. A massive, massive deal for Manchester United to be able to pull off. It really and truly is. He is a class young act. He's highly coveted. And there's a big feeling that next season he's going to explode. Whether it's at Man United or whether it's in Serie A at Atalanta, people are going to look at his goal outputs and go, he's not going to be able to, he's only got 9 in Serie A. What can he do in the Premier League? It's a bit like watching Jackson for Chelsea. I was someone that was quite detrimental about that deal. And no, that's a lie. Let me take that back. I wasn't detrimental. I was unmoved because I knew nothing about him. I've watched him now in 2 preseason games. He looks like he looks very talented to me. Good first touch, excellent movement, strength. That's early days. But sometimes there are gems out there that nobody's talking about. And we always want our clubs to sign them. And I do think Rasmus Hojlund could be that for Manchester United. He's an impeccably gifted and a highly talented player. So me personally, very, very happy indeed with this link. Now on tonight's show, people, we are going to take your calls. I'm sharing the link now. We haven't done a call in for a while. We've just been so busy with so many shows. I'm going to share the link now. And I'm going to pin that link as well so you guys can call in and have your say as well. That is pinned to the live comment section. I love this here. It says, stop it, man, just because his name sounds like Haaland. It's nothing to do with his name sounding like Haaland. Hojlund is excellent. I think if you're doubting him, ZS, it means you haven't watched him play. You haven't read about him. You haven't read any of the scouting reports. You haven't done any research on the player. There's a serious talent in there. There's a serious talent. He's going to become the next Haaland, the Mauling. Look, he won't be Haaland. In my opinion, will never be as good as a goal scorer as Haaland. In terms of build-up play and those other elements, he could become better than Haaland. As a finisher, I don't think he'll get to that level. Haaland is a once, it might be twice, but in a generation player. There's only been one other striker in European football history, the modern history, post-World War II, who's had this amount of goals at his age, and that was R9. Nobody else has done it after. Nobody did it before. This is the only guy. So, yes, no one's expecting that. That's a crazy comparison. I'm definitely not staking it. But however, just because he's not going to be as good as Haaland doesn't mean you shouldn't sign him. Because if every team in the world stopped signing players because they're not as good as Haaland or they're not as good as Mbappe, nobody would ever sign a striker because no one's as good. Therefore, nobody would ever have a striker. It's a flawed piece of logic. It's a flawed piece of logic. It really, really is. It really is. Let's have a look here. Arsenal don't need Mbappe. They already have Balogun. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Well, that's the other story that I wanted to touch on today. Now, I want to read this out to you because I read this this evening. This is exclusive stories from Steve K. And Steve K here has said Arsenal consider Mbappe deal by selling £53 million star. It says Arsenal are keeping close tabs on Kylian Mbappe and may use Gabriel in 2024. It says, though there are doubts that the Gunners would be able to secure the move, it's no secret that Mbappe admires the club and the project on offer. We understand that Liverpool had touched base with Mbappe's representatives too, but they do not have enough to compete financially against last year's Premier League runners-up. Now, I mean, that's a big claim. That is a big claim from Steve K. He thinks that Arsenal have a genuine bona fide chance. Now, in my opinion, we all know I think he's getting Real Madrid. I'll say that from the bat. I'll say that right away. I think that is where he's going. But do you know what I like about what he said here? Of course, Arsenal should consider. Of course, Arsenal. It's not. Of course, Arsenal should consider getting rid of Martinelli. Why would you not? Why would you not get rid of him to get Mbappe? It makes no sense. There is no inside forward or wide attacker or a winger. I don't care what you want to call him. There's not one in the world who currently plays football that you wouldn't sell to buy Mbappe because he's the best. He's the best. Of course you would. 110%. 110%. And the article then goes on to say, as we exclusively reported before, Arsenal have a package for Mbappe, but know any move for the superstar would either come in January next year or the subsequent summer transfer window. So he's suggesting that Arsenal can't get it done now, but they want the player. Steve K believes that Mbappe likes Arsenal Football Club. And look, I think if you're Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, and you don't try to sign Mbappe, you're fools. You have to be in it to win it. You have to chance your arm. You have to go for him. You have to. In case that 5% chance to sign one of the greatest European, in my opinion, one of the greatest young European talents ever, you have to try and sign him. Imagine not trying to sign him. That don't make any sense to me. And no one's been able to, even with the, but you might say, no, great. You can take being rejected. You know, you can take it. You're a single man. And, Megan Fox is on the lookout for somebody new. And you kind of fit the bill a little bit, but you're not completely in the ballpark. There's another guy that she probably wants more than you, but you've got half a chance or a little chance. But you know that if you don't take it now, the next guy she gets with, she's marrying a man with for the rest of her life. Getting told no is definitely not as bad as not trying. That's just my take anyway. That's just my take on this anyway. I don't think Arsenal, I don't think Man United, I don't think Chelsea are going to land Kylian Mbappe. I don't believe it. But they have to try. They say God loves a trier. So maybe, just maybe, it will work out. You can go check out the article. Here's the headline page from it. You can go and get that out. Steve K is the journalist. And there are quite a lot of Arsenal fans that like Steve K. I see a lot of people sharing this on Twitter today. So I'm talking about it. I'm not challenging him. I don't know him personally. I don't know how good, bad, or indifferent he is. But I saw it and I thought it was a real interesting read. I really, really did. So you should go check it out now. That is the story and that is the article. We're also talking on the show this evening about Mbaooe to Chelsea. This year, according to Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea are now... I want to make sure I read this right. It's too small on my screen. Where's it gone? Chelsea are now nearing an agreement for the player who is set to stay in France on loan at the club's partners, Strasbourg. So this is a deal, by the way, that could be as high as £28 million, but he won't be joining Chelsea straight away. There's talk of Arsenal trying to hijack this deal. There's a couple of these sort of Chelsea-Arsenal deals that are kind of overlapping each other at the moment, which is very interesting. Sorry as I just turned my fan on in this room. This room gets really hot with the computers and the TV screens. So I'm going to turn that fan on. Give me a bit of a breeze. So it's an interesting one. But Chelsea are closing in on another highly rated young player. Highly, highly rated indeed. And in another story surrounding Chelsea, and I'm going to read this out to you here, it is claimed that Chelsea and Man City are considering making a move for Michael Olise. It says the Crystal Palace winger is currently out injured, and Fabrizio Romano reports the two clubs are waiting for more information. It is claimed Olise has a £35 million release clause. Plenty of clubs are going to be keen at that price. And they're right. A lot of clubs are going to be keen on that price. A lot of clubs are going to be keen on that price. Why would you not be? Why would you not be? for me, I sort of feel a little bit like I like Olise. I weren't a big fan of Zaha, and I told you he'd never go to a big club. He's gone to Galatasaray. Told you all. Good player, but that's about as good as it gets. He's a good player. That's it. No more than that. Olise is an interesting one, especially for Man City, because with Mahrez going, I personally think Bernardo Silva's going to be on his way out as well. This young kid, 21 years of age, is a very, very interesting player profile for them indeed. Plays predominantly on that right wing, 21 years old. And last year, just started to add, not huge amounts, but just started to add a little bit more output, a little bit more quality. 11 assists, only 2 goals. But I do believe in a better team, with high quality players and the best manager in the world, I think there's a real talent in Olise. I really do. And he's one of those guys who I just think could have an amazing career at Man City. Now, listen, I'm not saying he won't do bad at Chelsea or he won't do well at Chelsea. Chelsea's scenario and situation, though, is very different. They've got a lot of young players. They're in a rebuild. Will he get the game time? They've got 2 or 3 other people that can play his role, similar ages, similar profiles. I feel like at City, with Bernardo Silva and Mahrez leaving, it's almost, you're the guy. You're the individual that we want now to replace the outgoing Mahrez, the outgoing Bernardo Silva. Now, is he of their standard? There's ability there. Whether Olise can turn that ability into that and promise into a top-class star remains to be seen. He's not going to do that at Palace. He has to leave. He has to go to a bigger club with more resource, better coaches, better players. And Man City could be that. But Chelsea's also a great option as well. I'd love to get... he ain't replacing them. Listen, why not? Why not? Why not? Why would you not? At least, listen, how many what right wingers are out there available that are of the highest level, ready-made, that could come into City right now and take over from those 2 greats at your club? I don't know. Terry, your Chelsea hate is real, always talking down Chelsea. Have I talked down Chelsea? How have I talked them down? I just feel if I was Olise, with the talent and attackers that Chelsea already have, and with the potential Silva and Mahrez leaving, with where City would be a more attractive proposition for me right now. That's all I'm suggesting. He may disagree. He may want to stay in London. He may love the idea of being part of this Chelsea rebuild. I'm just talking about both sides here. Bro said Saka. Yeah, City are not signing Saka. That isn't happening. That's not gonna happen. That's not happening at all. 110%. 110%. That isn't happening. The game says Olise is bang average just because he bangs the ball into the top corner once every 2 months. Yeah, I don't think he is bang average. I think there's a great amount of talent in there. He just needs to get to a better club with a better manager. And you will see an increase in his quality, in my very, very humble opinion. Let's have a look at some more of these comments here. All you jokers think Arsenal let Martinelli go after a new deal. Listen, let's just paint. We're painting a hypothetical situation here, so nobody get triggered by it. If Arteta picks up the phone to Mbappe and Mbappe says, yes, I want to come to Arsenal, raise the money, get me in. If you wouldn't consider selling Martinelli to bring in Mbappe, you're capping. You're capping or you're unwell. Again, we're only going based on the article that we read. So there isn't my claim you're trying to do this or anybody else's. It was in this article. But for you to suggest that you wouldn't want to let Martinelli go after signing a new deal, if it meant you got Mbappe, I don't think you're stupid or unwell. I think you're a liar, Ace. You're 100% a liar. And I'd love to know in the comment section now, if you're an Arsenal fan, and you had to sell Martinelli to get Mbappe, would you do it? Man United fans, would you sell Rashford to get Mbappe? Liverpool fans, I'll go even bigger with Liverpool. Would you sell Mohamed Salah to get Kylian Mbappe? Of course, for me, you would. Of course you would. 110,000%. You would do it. Of course you would. I think there are some City fans that would get rid of Haaland for him. Only some. But they'd get rid of Jack Grealish in a heartbeat for Kylian Mbappe. More chance of Henry going to Arsenal. Listen, I was a coach, yeah. Listen, I hear you. And like I've said, I think he's going Chelsea. But that isn't the point of the response. The response was stating that Ace was talking like, I wouldn't let Martinelli go for Mbappe. Of course you would. I love Rashford. I'll get rid of him for Mbappe. 100%. If that was the only way we could afford Mbappe, I would do it. Prime, there's no way you wouldn't do that, my G. There's no way you wouldn't do that, G. Not in my personal opinion. I think you'd do it. And I think you'd do it in a heartbeat. I think you'd do it in a heartbeat, my bro. Well, I would anyway. But I mean, maybe me and you are a little different. Maybe we're a little different, Prime. I would definitely do it. Mbappe is the man. Not all that glitter is gold. What are you saying, Alex Reed? That's cryptic. I don't want to hear cryptic things. I want to hear what you mean by that. I want to hear what you mean by that, my G. I want to hear what you mean by that, my G. You got to go deeper on that one. I have principles, my G. I come from a different world. Okay, no, that's not it. That don't make sense. That's not an answer. Get specific. Why would you not swap Marcus Rashford for Mbappe? Prime, I need you to go into detail on this. Why would you not do it? Not because you have principles. Not because you have principles. You've got to go deeper. Too much drama, circus, and ego around Mbappe. I don't know about that. Olise to Chelsea, watch him become world class. I mean, that is a big claim. That is a very, very big claim indeed. But it could certainly happen. It could certainly happen. And by the way, breaking news in the last few minutes. Breaking news. Alan St. Maximin to Saudi. Here we go. Verbal agreement reached. Around 30 million, they think that's going to be. St. Maximin. St. Gucciman. He's gone. By the way, another one that I said wasn't good enough. I was right again. We all knew that. This here says, nah, I wouldn't sell Balogun, Nketiah, Tierney, Vieira, and pay 50 million over to get Mbappe. Martinelli staying. Bro, you telling me? Listen, we've got David joining us on the show now. I haven't spoken to David in a while, to be fair, but he's joining us on the show now. I'm just looking for the right overlay. There it is. David's here with me. David, this Arsenal fan's telling me he wouldn't swap Martinelli for Mbappe.
He's chatting nonsense. He's chatting nonsense. If you can get Mbappe into your team, you do it. You do it. You can worry about his ego and all the rest of it later. That can come later. But yeah, you got to get This is again. I've had this debate with my friends recently quite a lot, and it was about selling Mount and Havertz, and they were there like, "Are you not upset about them going?" And I said, ultimately, they didn't want to be at the club. And when people are willing to pay 60 odd mil for them, what's best for your club, regardless of what you think of the player, is to sell, because you're going to lose them for free anyway if they don't want to sign a new contract.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just there like, nah, but you know, he came from the academy and this, that, and the other. You could convince him. I'm like, I don't care. Like, there are ways you can improve your squad where, yeah, you may have to sell one of your better players, but if you've got to sell one of your better players, but you can improve your squad in two other areas, it's almost worth it. So if you've got to sell a Martinelli to bring in an Mbappe, why on earth would you not? Because, again, as a football fan, you should be, well, providing you're a fan of your club, you should want what's best for your club. Now, for me, what's best for Arsenal is that if you were to sell Martinelli and get Mbappe, Mbappe's a better player. So therefore, it'd improve Arsenal. So you should be happy about it. I know it may be upsetting to get rid of Martinelli because he's, a good young player, but Mbappe's Mbappe.
But that's just it for me. Like, everyone knows how much I love Marcus Rashford. Love the kid. Absolutely love him and adore him in every single which way. But if Man United, if we had to sell Rashford to raise the transfer fee and more salary so we could get Mbappe, you are improving on that position. You become a better football team. Like, why would you ever do it? Terry only ever reads the paid comments. Unsubscribe from this joker. It's all about sycophants. Well, that isn't true, because the comment that Ben, this is what I would say though. The comment I just had up on the screen wasn't paid. However, once people start super chatting, I prioritize them because people are paying their money. They're donating to the Terrace, and I've got to respect that. My members get more airtime because, again, they contribute, and I have to respect that as a man. But to say that we don't put comments up that haven't been paid for, again, you can criticize the Terrace all you want, but you've just lied, Ben. So, like, as a liar, please unsubscribe. I don't want liars watching my channel. Lewis here, sorry, the sycophants here. Nelly, lower wages, Prem proven, not as much ego. So, Lewis, you are telling me you would keep Martinelli over Mbappe? I can't believe this. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I think that's like a lot of men that would say, I would not swap my wife for Rihanna or Beyonce or Megan Fox or Billie Eilish. They say it because they know it ain't going to happen. But in reality, if tonight Billie Eilish, in one of her nice dresses, low-cut top, was on your doorstep and said, leave with me now, I reckon 80% of the men that said they would never do it, I'm going out for some milk. They'd be gone. They'd be gone. Do you know what I mean? You don't believe this super chat. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Ignore the haters, Terry. Big up, brother. Listen, the haters are the haters. I love the haters, really, because they're all good for the Terrace. They're all good for the Terrace. So yeah, I don't have any ill feeling towards them. It is what it is. I want to ask you about the Chelsea situation. Olise, talk to me.
I'm so excited for that. If that genuinely happens, I'll be over the moon, because he's one of my favorite young Prem players. Like, he has so much potential. The only thing is the attitude, in terms of, maybe he doesn't have a bad attitude, but it's just the way he kind of presents himself when he's playing would make you think he might have an attitude. That might be the only thing where I'd go, like, I'm not 100%. But apart from that, there's definitely the talents there, the techniques there, even the outputs there. Like last year, towards the end, like as it got to the more of the business end of the season, his outputs got a lot better, and he nearly got double goals and assists. But he definitely got a lot of assists.
He got 13 goals and assists in the Premier League last year, which isn't bad for a Palace side. Yeah, and I think you put him into a better team. There's a player in there. He's always been him and Eze. I've always liked, and I've always rated. I've always felt that there's a little something in them, if that makes sense. That I quite rate. It's just a shame it's Chelsea, because I still kind of feel like Man United's right-hand side could do with a bit of improvement. I mean, look, Sancho's looked good in pre-season, but I'm still not 110% convinced by him personally. But he's decent. And what's your thoughts on Wahi? I know he's going to go out on loan to Strasbourg, but it's another young, talented star that you're looking at bringing in.
I've never watched him, so I don't have much to say on him as a player.
Don't really have an opinion.
He's just highly touted. That's it. But he could be, Bakayoko. So we'll see what happens. He could so easily be Bakayoko.
He could, to be honest with you. You never quite know. Well, some more callers than Freddie and Trey and a few others backstage we're going to bring onto the show really, really soon to have a chat with us. Terry, City is a great club and everything. But where do you see City after Pep? Pep is leaving in 2 years. Where will they be in 5 years? They'll still be a top 4 team, and they'll still be highly competitive, in my opinion. However, anyone can drop off, even well-run teams, if they bring in the wrong players, if they bring in the wrong manager, if they get that wrong. But they're so well-run that they're still going to be highly competitive, but there will be a drop-off. Because in my personal opinion, City will never have a team as good as this again. Every single great team in European football history, Man United's 99 team, we never matched it again. If you think about Barca's team under Pep, it was never as good before that. It's been good after it, but never quite as good, never quite as dominant. Generally, the greatest teams, it's so hard to replicate them, especially so soon after. You could maybe look at Liverpool with Paisley and Shankly. That's but they're an anomaly rather than a rule. So there will be a drop off, but there'll still be a highly competitive team in my personal opinion. I think most managers would steer clear of Mbappe because he causes issues in the changing rooms. Fantastic player, but let Madrid deal with him. You're shaking your head to that, Winter Surfer. Talk to me, mate. A lot of these people are telling me they don't want Mbappe.
Sure, it's just like saying to someone they're going to walk past £1 million on the street. Do you know what I mean? No one does that. They're just going to take Mbappe, warts and all. Do you know what I mean? Mbappe is a player you just take and you deal with it when it happens. I mean, I laugh at people. Oh, look at his attitude. Yeah, look at his attitude in the World Cup final. Let's see that attitude, because you get more of that attitude than you don't. So let's look at that. We took the nation on the back and nearly won it for them. Let's look at that attitude. The problem is not Mbappe, it's PSG. PSG are the problem for giving Mbappe all of that power. That's the problem. You give a person all of that power, and then you're surprised they take it. So it's like, oh, I didn't realise you gave you everything, and you're going to be like this, bro. You set this up. You set this up by the deal. You only gave him a 2-year deal. A 2-year deal, which means you had to negotiate the year after. Or actually, you had to negotiate probably the month after he signed a new deal for a new deal.
that was probably Mbappe, though. That was smart for him to do that.
That's right. But that's, and I understand that, and they held to ransom. But maybe they should have just been more. They should have been clever about it. Do you know what I mean? And now they're like, that's the problem. This is not like US sports where you can move a player without their consent. Okay, where you can literally trade them from one half of the side of the country to the other, and they don't know about it. The player has all the power.
Yep. And do you know what's crazy about it as well? Journalists don't do this anymore, but they should. They should call out. They don't want to lose links, but they should call out that when the new deal happened, we all said it was weird and stupid. From everybody, why would Mbappe stay in that league? Why would you guys do it and then risk losing him for nothing in 2 years? He should have been sold. They should have sold him after 2 years, because they would have got £200 million for him and been able to reinvest it. Whatever they're doing now, that they've won their league. Wow, massive prize money in France. They didn't win the Champions League. The Mbappe project for PSG has been a failure because they didn't achieve that Champions League glory. They didn't even win the League Art every year. Now he's going to leave for maybe 80 to 90 million euros. that is dumb, dumb, and it's a terrible decision from them. Ringy here says, love Martinelli, but Mbappe is Mbappe. I would swap. Thank you for being honest. Two goals all season, Terry, but 13 GA sounds better. Well, that's what he got. He got 13. It's not about sounding better. It's the truth with Olise. He did get 13 GA in the Premier League. Yes, only 2 of them were goals. But I think there's talent in there, and I think a better team and a better club, he'll improve. Like, do you agree? Like, Don, do you agree with that? Are you excited about Olise coming in?
Yeah, I rate him. I don't know if you remember on the other day, I mentioned that City should be looking at him like to replace Mahrez, because I rate him highly. When you look at his stats last season, when it comes to the level of creativity, he was up there in Europe, all across Europe. And how he is as a player, he's really good on the ball. He's able to retain possession. You know, he's got end product as well. Again, you're looking at Palace. If you look at him in a better team with that quality, you're looking at a guy that's going to get quite a lot of goals and definitely a lot of assists. So I think he'll fit into City like a glove. I would love him at Chelsea. But yeah, I think he's a top player, man. How old is he as well? Is he 22?
21.
He used to play for Chelsea. I'm pretty sure he used to play for Chelsea as well.
It's sort of like a Declan Rice situation.
Under 10s or something.
Yeah, then he left. He left quite early. But yeah, no, I like Olise. I really like Olise, man. I think he's good. Obviously, he's injured right now, but his injury record ain't bad. I think he's only had 2 injuries in his whole career. So, I'll be all for it, man. I'll be all for it.
No,
Yeah.
I said when Liverpool signed Szoboszlai, that was a player that I really wanted because it's someone who can play out wide, can play central, and can create from many areas on the field, which is something that I felt that we've lacked for a really long time. And one thing I've been really happy with what Chelsea are doing right now is that every player we seem to be signing on the offensive side is someone who not only can contribute goals-wise, but can also link up very well. And I know yesterday's pre-season game is, again, it's pre-season, so you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt. But you see the way that Mudryk and Jackson and Angelo and Madueke and all these players are like slowly coming together and they're able to build like quite decent relationships where they can interlink and play well with each other. We haven't seen that kind of football in a really long time. A really long time.
That's because they're not going to have. I think that's because they're not going to have a lot of defensive responsibilities like in the last few matches.
And this is what I was banging on about when it came to the recruitment team and the profile of player we're looking at. I noticed the trend. We're looking at players that are comfortable on the ball from the defense. Look at Badiashile, comfortable on the ball. Enzo, comfortable on the ball. Even these new guys have come in. Angelo Gabriel, he's putting Sterling to shame, man. He's putting Sterling to shame. He's been on the pitch.
That kid's got
both
composure.
games.
So much composure, man.
But boy, I will say about last night's game as well. I done a match reaction for the Arsenal United game, so I didn't have the energy. It was too late. I had to go to bed. But I did have the game on my laptop. Hojlund Mudryk's goal was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Did you see him pass to himself earlier in the game? Did you see what he literally?
Mate, it was so good. I'm like, that's the kid that I was watching in the Champions League before.
Yeah.
Question here before we move on and bring other callers in. What about Madueke?
I think there's a. I think Angelo, as good as he might go out on loan this season. There was a report that before he signed it, he would go into loan like Strasbourg. Obviously, they're going to say, look at him. Madueke hasn't even played any minutes of any preseason yet as well. So I think he'll go around. But that's if we get someone like Olise or a Kudus or something like that. But if we don't, he might stay. Just as an option. So
I look at it this way. I get there's a lot of competition. I said earlier, look, if City come in for him and they say, look, we want you to be the main guy to replace Silva and Mahrez, that could be hard to compete with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Chelsea, he's born in England, but he's French. I'm a bit confused about.
He's born in England. He's French. He's got Nigerian parents. This guy's from everywhere.
Yeah.
I get that.
He's from everywhere.
He's like a London boy, though, right?
Yeah, no, he's from.
Pretty sure he is. Yeah.
I get that. That's what I mean. Like, I don't really personally. I don't think. Your passport's important for traveling, but you are where you are from. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I know people that weren't. I got one of my best friends. He was born in Turkey, moved here when he was 8, but he's more Cockney than me. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's Turkish passport, but the man's a Londoner. That's what I'm saying. So there's a thing. He's a Londoner, and I think that's with Olise. That could be a big thing for him.
I just want to touch on Sterling quickly, Terry. I was saying this earlier on Never a Foul. Yeah, like, listen, again, it's pre-season, but Sterling's been showed up by a lot of these new players that have come in. On the ball yesterday, he looked really sloppy, giving it away. Decision-making was poor. And it was the same thing against Wrexham. The flip side, people were saying Angelo Gabriel hasn't got any like Premier League experience. We don't know if he's ready. But the guy's got over 100 appearances for Santos, I believe, right? He's been playing men's football. And in terms of his attributes, what I look at when I'm looking at attackers these days is how physical are you and have you got the ability to beat a man? And how comfortable are you with the ball at your feet? He ticks all those boxes. And Sterling right now, like I said, he's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb. So honestly, when it comes to the season, he needs to hit the ground running because he's one of our highest paid players. Again, one of the most experienced players in our team as alongside Silva. So listen, if he doesn't fix up, he could find himself on the bench very soon. And before you know it, he's out of the club. So he needs to fix up. He
looked stressed and under pressure last night, and it's pre-season. This year says Nicholas Jackson was ridiculous. Again, I was impressed with him. Touch looked good, strength, clean. Yeah, could be
35 million euros. 35 million euros in this market for strikers. Madness.
And that brings us on to our top story from the show today. Obviously, Man United are about to go and bid for Rasmus Hojlund, and I see a lot of people, rivals predominantly, putting it down. A bad deal. He ain't worth 50 million. He didn't score 50 goals last season. So why would you want to buy him? There are gems out there. There are gems out there that just because they're not flavor of the month or got the best cards on FIFA or, you know, the football hipsters online. By the way, these football hipsters all told me that Zaha would leave Palace and go to one of the best clubs in Europe. So it's hard to take them seriously. But
what a weird move, by the way.
yeah, Galatasaray is a strange one, considering...
Wait, Zaha's Galatasaray?
He's going Galatasaray.
What? Wait,
yeah, maybe they've offered him. Maybe they have offered him crazy money as well. Maybe they've like put all their eggs into this basket because he'll do well over there. By the way, because the standard's low. Like he'll do very well in Turkey, and they love skill out there. It's one of them countries. Like I grew up with a lot of Turkish boys. They love skills and techers, so he'll do well out there, and I love him. But I look at Rasmus Hojlund. I'm excited. I believe this kid. I looked at the way we played last night in that first half against Arsenal, held the ball well, moved it. Look, Sancho did a brilliant job in that false nine role, but his hold-up ability is, just like Rashford, it's average. You bring someone whose hold-up plays good into this Man United team. This kid looks dangerous to me. Again, I think it's another level change for Man United. I really do, especially with Mount dominating that midfield like he did last night. That's what I'm going to say. He's very good. He's very good last night, Money Mount. He really was.
Money Mouse.
I don't know where that came from. I was watching Disney with the kids.
Look who was up against in midfield. Havertz. You know, it's no competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was funny really because I'm like it was more Odegaard and that he was stopping.
I'm not sure. What's it, Terry? I'm not sure what stream you're watching it because I was watching it on the Man United one. The way those commentators were talking about Havertz. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I was like, you guys are violent. They were like,
they called him rubbish.
They called him rubbish. Apparently, they thought he came off when he was still on the pitch.
They were like, has he been on the field? I was thinking, guys, this is too much smoke for pre-season. Way too much smoke for pre-season.
I didn't watch it. I was watching it on a US stream. But I used to be an avid subscriber of MUTV, and the beautiful thing. So when I used to watch games back full 90 minutes, I'd watch it on MUTV. Listening to Paddy Karen, he's even worse. Back in the day, talk. I've seen our players 2-foot people and get sent off, and the MUTV commentator defend them and say it's cheating.
So biased.
Yeah.
I've listened to some snippets of Jason Cundy's bias on TalkSport. You should listen to him on Chelsea TV. Oh my god, it's ridiculously bad. But in terms of Hojlund, boys, how good a signing do you think this will be for Man United, Dave?
In terms of, well, you need a 9. That I think that's like very, very clear. You do need a 9. I think if you sign Hojlund, you should sign like an older, again, someone with a bit more experience. I think to put all of the load on Hojlund's shoulders is he could, again, does he have the talent to do so? Yes, but putting all your eggs in that basket is a very risky thing to do.
We've got a veteran striker.
If you want Rom, you can have him back. You have Rom back, you can have Rom back. But yeah, no, he's definitely a serious player. Like he's no joke. Like I know he hasn't got that many goals in like his professional career yet, but he's definitely got an eye for goal. So I can understand why Atalanta are demanding such a high fee already.
It's demanding a high fee because it's Manchester United, right? If this was like Sheffield United going in, it'd be like 8 million or something for him, right? We all know that, yeah? It's the same with Chelsea or something like that. If it's different, Brighton going for Caicedo, they get charged 3 million. If we found Caicedo, we'd be charged 20 million like we are with these other, like Santos and stuff like that. I got to tell you, I've not seen a lot of him, and I don't think many Premiership managers have seen a lot of him either. So he's got the surprise factor when he comes in. It'll be about how Ten Hag integrates him and whether he starts him off right away or slowly integrates him into English football. That's how he starts. You've got no real choice because your only other striker is Martial, and he's finished. In my opinion, he's just not. He's not at the level Manchester United need to go anymore. You played Sancho at a false 9 yesterday. I know he scored, but in a long-term thing, I wouldn't. If I was a Man United fan, I wouldn't want Sancho at false 9 for the whole entire season. So it's just really how they integrate him. In my words, and what service he gets. So
yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you on that. There could be a need to a sort of an embedding period where you've got to give him a little bit more time and stuff like that. But I trust my manager. And look, the preseason game against Arsenal last night. It's the first time we played Arsenal I went and checked today. It's the first time in 7 appearances against them where we've had more of the ball. in the first half. The second half, they had more than us. We made a lot of changes. We had a much weaker team. We dominated the ball, and that was up against Odegaard, 105 million pound Declan Rice, and 65 million pound Kai Havertz. So it was a test for our midfield, and Mount did really well. Now he wasn't Xavi or Iniesta, he wasn't Paul Scholes, he wasn't Frank Lampard. I'm not making claims that he's at that level, but 65 million pounds in 2023, you're not buying a Paul Scholes or a Frank Lampard or a Xavi or Iniesta. Those players in 2023 would cost you 150 to 200 million pounds. So I think Mason Mount will do a good job for us because my manager knows what he's doing. I really trust him. And it's the same with this Hojlund deal. I've seen a few United fans say, without a proven number 9, we're not gonna go to another level. I'm looking at the majority of our signings so far. And Anthony, look, I will agree, Anthony, there's a bit of hit and miss in there. But the rest of them, I remember the way Martinez was criticized. Martinez, he'll be an absolute flop for you guys. Took our backline to another level. And I even think about Christian Eriksen was a good signing. Got a lot of criticism towards the back of last season because he wasn't able to run the midfield. He didn't have the legs for it. But he wasn't originally signed to play in that position. He was meant to be that 10, that backup to Bruno. And suddenly you're going to have Eriksen in a more creative role, Bruno obviously in his more creative role. You're suddenly going to have much more power in the midfield. By the way, Amrabat is very likely at this moment in time to come in as well, or a player like him. I just see with enough support around him, a young striker like this who's got brilliant P&P in the Premier League could do really well. And I think if we sign him, I'm honestly looking at least 15 league goals year 1 from him. And I don't think that's a bad return year 1 with a massive sort of future ahead of him. So I'm intrigued by that. Eli is with us as well. Who do you support, Eli?
Big up to you, Terry. First of all, I'm an Arsenal fan from the States. And I've been watching the show for about a year and a half now, and I really love the show, man.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. What are you here to say? What are you here to tell us?
Well, I also think that Rasmus Hojlund would be a good pickup for y'all, honestly, because from what I've seen, he's really big and strong, and I think he'll give y'all exactly what y'all need in that number 9 position, especially with Bruno feeding him. I feel like Anthony could probably, feed him some nice balls. And I just feel like he will probably be, that missing piece that y'all need because, like I was saying earlier, Martial ain't it. I think although Rashford, performs admirably in that number 9 role, I feel like he's better on the left. So Rasmus Hojlund will probably be that guy for y'all. Like it might take him a little bit of time to, get rolling, but once he gets rolling, I think he's going to be a really dangerous asset for y'all.
Mate, I agree. I do agree with you. I have one question for you before we bring some other callers on. Would you swap Martinelli for Mbappe?
Mm-hmm. All day long. Like, I love Martinelli. Don't get me wrong. I love Martinelli. That dude is a dog. But I just feel like Mbappe will bring something completely different to Arsenal. And then he can play all across the front line as well. So although Martinelli can do that too, Mbappe is just he's special. He's world class. He's, in my opinion, the best player on the planet right now. So that's a no-brainer for me.
I agree. Eli, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it, mate. Top man. Thank you, brother. Thank you. There's a comment here. This one made me laugh. It says that Rashford had the most hilarious miss yesterday. He didn't. He made the run. The cross didn't come in early enough. By the time the cross came in, he was offside and he stopped running. Then as the ball passed him, he tried to react and get his foot in it and missed it. But he was already offside, so he stopped. So it wasn't an hilarious miss. It was a poor bit of timing from Palestri. So
I just want to say with Marcus
Rashford, agendas are agendas.
Marcus Rashford for last season is given more respect because I was looking at his numbers yesterday. You take Marcus Rashford out of your attack, Terry. Yours is like ours in terms of the next top scorer was Bruno on 8 league goals after Rashford.
Do you know what's crazy, right? If you actually just look at Rashford's last 4 seasons, that one bad year where the whole club was bad.
Yeah,
he's doing this, and he'll do it again this year. We'll score lots of goals again. He's a goal scorer. He isn't Haaland or Mbappe. Nobody's claiming that, but he's scoring at a very good level for someone playing on the side he is. And if you actually add in more players around him scoring goals, I think he can score and assist even more. At the end of the day, if you've got someone in the middle and someone on the left who are scary and are scoring lots of goals, they're bagsmen, it's going to give you a little bit more space because the team can't double up on you. If you know that, like with Martial, he was so easy to play against last year.
Yeah.
Give him a few yards of space and he still ain't doing anything. So look, as we improve, Rashford will get better as well, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about it. I'm very, very excited about it indeed. I don't know about Billy, but Sydney Sweeney. I don't know who Sydney Sweeney is. I might have to Google that now. Who is you young? I bet you young'uns know, right?
I have no idea who that is. Also, Billie Eilish is such a weird shout from you. I'm not gonna lie. That's a really I was not of all the people. I was not expecting that. But okay.
The thing is, I can't say how old is Billie Eilish. She's 21. Do you know why I said it? No, do you know what it is, right? I'll have to be honest with you. It is nothing like old man perverseness. Just one of the only young singers I know. I'm at the age. The other day I was in the car, right, and I was on Amazon Music because I find it better than Spotify, and they have like a playlist of like the 50 most played songs currently on like Amazon, and I put it on, and like The Weeknd's new song came on. I know who he is, right? And I'm like, that's cool. The next 5 singers and artists, good music. I looked at the names. No idea. Never even heard of them. And I'm like, oh, I got old. I got real old. Do you know what I mean? Then I'll put on like 90s R&B and I know every word to every song. And I'm like, yeah, that's my era though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I felt really old. I thought Billie Eilish was like really popular. That's why I said it.
No, she is. She is big.
Yeah,
but
she's big.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah, no, I'm not walking into suspect territory. I was just being old, love. I was just trying to.
Just an old man. I'm just old.
If you ever watch the David Brent film that follows on from The Office, he does this thing where he's with these young musicians and he's trying to be cool, and he starts like saying names of bands that he think will make him look cool. He just randomly mentions the Foo Fighters and what's that rock band, like a Sabian or something like this. He just says it thinking that makes him look cool, but you can tell he has no idea what the hell he's talking about. So she's big, all right. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. We're going to move swiftly on, though. We're going to bring Freddie on to have you say. What are you saying, Freddie? Who do you support, Fred?
Hey, what's going on? Oh, I'm a Chelsea fan. What's going on, guys?
Chelsea. Nice to meet you, Freddie boy. Nice to meet you. What do you want to say?
Pleasure. So I do like the kudos, the links. Olise is kind of it's a shocking one for me because I think if we can get kudos and maybe Moises Caicedo, we should be good for the season. Now, the other day I was hearing your boy Egal have a lot of smoke for Chelsea, right? And I just wanted to know, since they just had a title charge last year, when did this relevance all of a sudden become like a big thing? And, I'm going to have so much smoke for this guy when we finish ahead of Arsenal this season.
Freddie, take it back.
Let's
all right? Let's take it back. Let's just wait. All right, let's wait till the end of the window. I know Egal wants us to panic, but as you can see, the past few days, 2 days, we've been linked to top players. You know what I'm saying? So let's just wait till the end of the window. Let's see how we get on after the first 10 games, and then you can come in with smoke. But for now, don't get yourself clipped, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Wait until Caicedo.
My only thing is,
just wait until Caicedo if he's confirmed. That's all.
Chelsea has been a much better team than Arsenal, and all of a sudden we're a small club, which makes no sense at all. And every time,
I tell you what this goes back to. Egal made the wrong choice when he came to London and chose the wrong club to support. And ever since then, what he's found out is that we destroyed his club's legacy in less time than they did to build it. So that's the whole thing. That's all it is. We destroyed their entire thing. And you know what? I'm fine being called a little bus stop in Fulham. We've just got more stuff then. We've won more things than you. So I'm okay with it. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather our players get tired, get shoulder injuries, lifting trophies, than being proud, pat us on the back by finishing second in the league or in the top 4. So I'm okay with it, bro.
But Freddie, you seem confident you're going to finish in front of Arsenal. Do you really believe that, Freddie boy?
The transfer market we have. If we have all the players in that we need, I mean, we've done it before. We could do it again. But instead of getting Olise, I'd rather just keep Angelo because he is very saucy. Very saucy. So We only need maybe two, 3 players, and we're good for the season. That's all I got. But when we do finish ahead of Arsenal, Egal, come outside. We got to talk.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna have smoke. If we finish above
yeah.
them next season, we're gonna have serious smoke for them.
If it happens, then by all means. But again, we've got to let the meal cook. Do you know what? I've changed my phrase. It's not we're cooking. No, we're in the kitchen. We don't know what the meal looks like here.
We're marinating.
But it's in process. We just got to wait for the meal to be ready, and then once the meal's ready, just go. Then you can.
If we finish with Arsenal, isn't it just normal service resumed? It's not a big thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's just okay. Everything's back to normal. Do you know what I mean? We finished above you. It's not. You're back to where you belong.
To be fair, judging by the way they're talking, if we were to finish ahead of them, we would have to win the league. So
yeah,
that's not normal service for us right now because we don't.
No. Just generally.
But we don't need to win the league to be ahead of Arsenal. We don't need to win the league.
No,
we could be third and Arsenal could be fourth.
No, I get that. I'm just saying the way that these Arsenal fans are talking. Oh, yeah, they're very confident.
Well, remember, yesterday was a big game. Yesterday was a big game for Man United against Man United, but now it's just a pre-season friendly.
But
so it doesn't matter.
Again, to be fair, I get why they're in their current state of mind.
Yeah, but they should be. They had a very good season.
I'll leave it to them.
This season's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. There's been a lot of changes at Arsenal. You know, that midfield, I'm not sold by it. You know, Havertz, Rice, and Odegaard. So again, man, first 10 games are going to be very, very interesting. That's what I'm going to say on that one. Because Arsenal fans are getting, they automatically think they're going to finish in the top 2 already because of last season. They need to forget about last season. It's a brand new season with different players. Do you know what I'm saying? So we'll have to see after the first 10.
Mate, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. It really is. Freddie, thanks for coming on, bro. I appreciate you coming on, my friend, and we'll chat again soon, G. Top man. We've got Shrey with us now. Long time no speak, Shrey. How are you, bro?
Hey, I'm good, Terry. How y'all doing?
I'm good. What do you want to say, brother?
Yeah, so I just want to speak quickly on the Mbappe situation. If I'm Chelsea, I personally wouldn't do it. If I'm Lawrence Stewart with Stanley, stay away from this guy because I'll give you a counter example. Look at the Lukaku situation right now, and I personally don't want this Lukaku 2.0. Like Mbappe's situation would be Lukaku on steroids. Like, I seriously don't want.
Hang on. You think signing Mbappe would be worse than signing Romelu Lukaku?
Only for the reason of the drama that surrounds him. As a football player, obviously, any of us would be idiots not to do. Like just for the drama
the thing is, though, bro, you could handle Lukaku's drama if he was banging 40 goals a season in for you. The reason that listen, Eric Cantona came with drama. This guy was kicking fans in the face and throwing footballs at referees, but he produced performances. Your captain John Terry racially abused somebody, but because he was winning you titles, your fans said it's okay, bruv. That's drama. He was sleeping with his own teammates' wives, but no one cared because he was winning you trophies. That's more drama. Come on now, G.
I get it. I mean, but even that, like, I think with the squad that we're building, I mean, Mbappe would be kind of like would be counterproductive to what we're trying to build. That's just me. I mean,
hang on, signing really talented young players. That's
Mbappe. As a football player, I'm not questioning it. Absolutely, you'd be an idiot not to try. I mean,
I hear you.
I
hear you.
But what are you concerned about? Are you saying that he's got a big ego, or like what is it that's concerning?
Exactly, and his ego, his salary is another concern. Because even if he comes, he's not going to come on 100 grand a week. He's going to want major salaries. Like he wants it 500-600 grand.
I'll tell you one thing. Everyone in our squad will totally understand however much we're going to pay Mbappe, because you're talking about a generational player over here. So that's not going to be. There's always going to be exception to the rules. Certain players are just an exception to the rule. Haaland, Mbappe, Vinicius. There's certain players that are just always going to be an exception to the rule. That's just how it is.
Chelsea have never had a football player at their club as famous and as popular and as good as Mbappe.
Right. Which
and
then
so in terms of drama, there's always drama when you've got a player of that size. Beckham had drama, Ronaldo had drama, Rooney had drama. But if they're delivering, you accept it and you take it to a point. The only time players with drama get kicked out of football clubs is when they don't perform. So I hear you. Listen, straight, top man for coming on, brother. We'll chat to you again soon, G. Thank you, my guy. Top man. Thank you. AK's with us now. What are you saying, AK?
Yeah, Terry, can you hear me correctly?
Perfect, bro.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, I'm a Real Madrid fan, and to be honest, I want Mbappe as soon as possible. I know there are fans who say, you know, it's 150 million, get him for free next year. Just cut out the risk and get him this year. We have the money, get him this year, cut out everything. And I don't understand when people say, you know, oh, Mbappe causes ego. He has an ego. He will cause toxicity in the dressing room. You know, his wages are too high. Would you want 09-10 Ronaldo in your team? He does the same thing. 09-10 Ronaldo's arrogant. 09-10 Ronaldo causes ego. The best players in the world have an ego. The best players in the world have arrogance.
Mate, it's of course. Messi's PR is so good. People don't think he's arrogant. He is. You don't get to that level without having an air of arrogance, and there's always going to be like a buzz and a crazy kind of feeling around you. Yeah, there absolutely has to be one. Wow. Listen, AK, top call, my friend. Thanks for coming on and showing your face and having your say, mate. I appreciate it. Big breaking news.
Mbappe to Spurs.
El Hilal and Fulham are on the verge of agreeing a deal for Mitrovic.
Yeah.
Mitrovic is going to go there. Do you know what it is? These men are like, I'm 28, 29. I'm being offered $500,000 a week. Tax-free, I'm off. They're buying so many players.
But that was going to happen because
that league's already better than Ligue 1. Better than the French league already.
Do you know what it is, though, yeah, Terry? See, Fulham, I don't understand why they've gone and signed Raul Jimenez.
Because they knew they were going to get rid of Mitrovic. That's why.
No. Besides that, I know they need a striker. Raul Jimenez is not the same player. He's not what he was before that injury, that head injury. He's not the same. And the fact that they only paid $5 million for him just goes to show that. I thought Fulham were done with like these sort of signings. Do you know what I mean? Fulham they came back to the Prem. They've done really well. They've got a good manager. So then to go and sign Raul Jimenez, I'm a bit confused with that one because he has not been the same.
Let's not diss Fulham. They are about to buy Cho from us, so let's just leave Fulham alone. They're about to sign Cho, so and we just not diss them.
I used to get so much abuse from Chelsea fans when I said I weren't moved by Cho. I used to get so much abuse. There was just something about him when I was watching him and like he ticked that box to me of having all the gear but no idea, all the skill but not the will. He looked good but didn't do anything. And I just watch him and just be like, I ain't moved. Trickery, great. Like he reminds me, and I said it at the time, he was just like Zaha. Looks good, but don't do anything.
To be fair to him, he was good under Sarri though, Terry. I'll be real, like. And then when he got that ACL, that's when it went downhill from there.
Was it ACL? Was it Achilles? Was it Achilles?
Achilles.
Was it Achilles? Was it not ACL?
No, it was Achilles.
Achilles. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it was Achilles tendon. Yeah, long-term injury. Once he had that, it was done. It was done.
No, I hear that. I just again, he's not even no disrespect meant by it. I just always watched him. He was just like a player that I thought, meh, I don't think he's ever going to get to the level. Look, he's a Prem player, so that's still a bloody good level. But the difference between playing in the Prem and being a player good enough to help Chelsea win a Premier League. There's a different, or just being a player that's instrumental in winning a Premier League. You have to be of a certain.
There's a difference between a guy and the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Boys, I've got to shoot. Terry, I'll see you on the top 6 tomorrow.
No worries. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the show now anyway. So listen, I want to say to the viewers, thank you. Please hit the like button before you leave. Please subscribe, turn on bell notifications. Multiple videos for you tomorrow, including the top 6 show at 6 p.m. So make sure you're all tuning in. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.